I was born ready.
Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. This is season 2, episode 35. This episode is brought to you by St. Anthony Tire and Auto.
New sponsor alert, St. Anthony Tire and Auto Center is a proud supporter of your Wondering Dutchman podcast. St. Anthony Tire and Auto Center is more than just tires and autos, though. For instance, let's talk trailers. From Homesteader to Heartland, they've got it all. Dump trailers, utility trailers, enclosed trailers, tilt trailers, and more. Need maintenance or repairs? Their service team has got you covered. Speaking of experience, their service team boasts multiple members with over 30 years of experience working on UTVs, ATVs, lawnmowers, and more. From routine maintenance to complex repair, they've got the skills to keep your machines running smoothly. And did we mention anything about vehicles yet? They also specialize in large-scale and auto repairs and services, from engine and transmission replacements to tire changes. Our mechanics are EFI certified and ready to tackle any challenge, not just tires and oil changes, my friend. So what are you waiting for? Call 812-326-2550 to schedule an appointment or learn more about what we can provide for you. Visit them at 3991 East State Road 64, St. Anthony, Indiana, 47575. Look for the historic white brick building just off of the highway. They're proud to be a veteran-owned small business serving our community with top-quality products and exceptional service. Stop by and see them today and tell them the Dutchman sent you.
The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but 3 out of 4 of us live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wandering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah, yeah. The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah, yeah.
Here we go!
There it is.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome. We're the monkeys.
To the Wondering Dutchman podcast, season 2, episode 35, brought to you by St. Anthony Tire and Auto. If you're listening to us and letting us invade your ear holes, we are joined here.
Hopefully with your permission.
With your permission, yes. If you're watching on YouTube and you can see us and our smiling faces, we've got an extra body in the room tonight here at Smoker's Lounge.
Good looking son.
Starting to introduce, sitting across from me, supporting the trash St. Louis Cardinals with his marquee mustache and messy hair, our buddy, Big Mace.
Hey.
Sitting in the middle, wearing the rose-colored glasses. He had a couple beers before we recorded. It's going to be a hot one for your Wednesday morning. Our buddy, David Allen Smoker. Sitting to my left and sporting the Southridge Raider track and field and Smutchville Insurance. Shout out to our buddy, old Derek Bowling. Our buddy, friend of the program, a member of the Wondering Dutchmen Golf Team, except for when Big Mace kind of just moved you out last week. If you listened to last week's episode,
I heard about
I know we'll talk about it later. Our buddy, Teddy Hoops.
There he is.
Our Teddy golf course right now, and I am your unofficial host, Esquire. Before we get into it, we've got to hear from our buddy, model American, Matt Krieg.
September is National Life Insurance Month. But you know what? You don't have to wait until September to talk to our buddy, Matt Krieg of Krieg Insurance. Life insurance can be a tough topic. How much do you need? How much does it cost? What are the right plans for me? All great questions, and Matt Krieg can answer all of them. Give Matt a call today. Thanks, neighbor.
Yeah, shout out to our buddy, Matt Krieg. We're going to get started here. Teddy Hoops, I'm going to do you a favor that I didn't do Brad O'Haney a favor, and now he's going to probably gripe about it when he listens to this on Wednesday. But we're
learning.
Do your wander last. He was not prepared for me to just throw him straight into the fire
But
yet.
he performed great.
He did great.
Yeah.
He did great. But I'm going to lead off with our normal leadoff hitter. The guy's hitting like 335 on the season, couple stolen bases. He's got the power to go opposite field, but really he's just a steady leadoff guy, sees a lot of pitches, high energy guy. He's got that BDE. Our buddy, Big Mace. What are you wondering about, pal?
How much meth did you do before this show? That's first thing first.
We had a great conversation off air. some things I was able to help my buddy out here to my left.
Man.
Just excited to be here.
So last week's episode, I got to say, and I just about texted you guys because I think it's the first time it's happened. So I added lots of F-bombs every week. On Friday, the 10th episode, the first F-bomb, Esquire.
Nice.
Like he was the first one of the episode, and I don't know if you've been the first F-bomb.
About time.
I don't. What did I F-bomb drop about?
Tell you the truth, like by the time I got them all done, I couldn't tell you exactly.
Oh, okay.
It was
By the
it
time
was
you
a
got 'em all
good,
done.
firm F-bomb.
Oh well, that's probably if I'm going to do it, I'm going to
think
get
you
my
were
money's worth.
you were soapboxing that night. You were wasn't very thrilled with some things. I mean,
Yeah, a few things.
I think this table's sagging on that corner.
that one,
Yeah.
that corner there.
It's an optical illusion to the light.
Who knows?
Stay on task, big fella. What you got?
I was thinking about this, and I'm sure it's going to be brought up too. And we probably should have talked about it off air. If anybody else wants to talk about it, I'm sorry, but did you guys watch the roast of Tom Brady?
Negative Ghost Rider.
Not the whole roast. I've seen some clips.
Bits and pieces.
Unbelievable.
I was the boys from Pardon My Take. Shout out to Big Cat and PFT commenter, which maybe they'd come on the show someday.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, they got being the number one sports podcast in America. We're closely related there. But they were talking about how the Tom Brady roast saved comedy because I think it was pretty much no holds bars.
No.
But the one thing,
Now, was this the one that Jewel was at?
Jewel,
I just saw
like
part of
the
her
'90s
roast.
singer Jewel.
Yeah, like the daughter of the Alaskan. Okay.
I doubt that. No.
But I think the only two things they said that were off limits was Robert Kraft and jokes about Tom's kids.
And of course, Jeff
the
Ross,
roast master, yeah.
He went there.
Jeff Ross, he went right into Robert Kraft and
Yeah, because Tom kind of like shook it all.
no, Tommy B
He went
got
up
up.
there.
He got
He went
off
up
his.
there.
He got out of his seat and walked
yeah.
up to Jeff Ross and said, "No more about that shit." Like you can hear it through the mic.
Now, who's Robert Kraft?
He's
Robert
the owner
Kraft
of
is the owner of the New England Patriots.
Okay.
They got Brady on the hot mic
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
Well,
You're done.
and the crazy
You're
thing of
done.
it is like
Because that was live, right? Like actual live.
well, but now they've said that now that it's posted on
Netflix.
that where Kim Kardashian was booed, they made it claps now.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to keep a hold of that, what you just said, because that's going to tie into my topic later.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian claps,
More or
like
less.
booty
More or less.
cheeks,
No.
or-
So the roast of Tom Brady was something that I was thinking about, and my TikTok's been full of it, and like just looking at all the Netflix publicity, and like Tom Brady is, I don't give a damn who you are, he's the GOAT. Like he's,
"Oh, for sure."
I mean, just you don't play that long and win that many Super Bowls and not be the best football player to ever play the game. Or I know it's a bold statement for me to make, but I'll stand behind it. But I just feel like he took it like a champ. And then like when he came back out and started and he had his chance to go, and then like just they asked him what his favorite ring was, and then he said my favorite ring was the video of Coach Belichick on the ring camera
when he was
leaving that
drunk.
hot chick's apartment at
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning with no shirt on, and they showed this son of a bitch on
Yeah.
TV like on the teleprompter behind him. I was just like, holy cow!
I tell you what,
Nikki Glazer telling the
Nikki Glazer could roast me any time.
Whoa.
when she said like I would shoot my boyfriend in the face for a chance to S his knee,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, what?
I mean, I've been in a happy relationship for 10 years.
Yeah,
but I
that's
would,
the love of my life.
I would shoot him in the head just to have the opportunity to S your D right now.
Right now. He's like, look at this guy. He's beautiful or something like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's neat that they do them. I think that where culture has gone, you can't say those things, or
And
I think you just got to let it.
Yeah.
Got to let it. I think this
think
is going to
that's the
be a
best
bold
part.
take. Is that some of that culture war stuff is starting to turn the other way back?
yeah.
And it's being led by comedians like Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, like these guys that are like there's a
Didn't
silent
Seinfeld
majority.
just come out and say that I'm summarizing, but something along the lines of this new cultural like outlook has ruined comedy?
Oh yeah,
Like just last
hands
week,
down.
he made that comment.
I think
about
he
how
said
it's
you couldn't do. He said you couldn't do a lot of the things we did on Seinfeld in today's era.
No,
No, none of those sitcoms.
not
Yeah,
a chance.
there's-
So that was like the leading edge of my topic. But what I was thinking is, if you were a roast master, like if you were the roaster, who would you pick to be your roastee? I guess is what I'm saying.
who
if
would you roast, or who would you want to roast you?
No. Who would you want to roast?
Okay.
Yeah, and if like you could pick a panel of roasters, who would you want to roast? That's what I'd say.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
tough spot, you know.
no, you would be on that in a hurry.
Like
I'd-
you would roast me,
yeah, I'd roast both of you,
right?
but I would expect it back.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the thing. I feel like that's almost a given. Like, I feel like if you're roasting someone, you've got to have some sort of respect for that person first.
Well, yes.
Well,
And
that's
there's a
why,
very short list of people I respect beyond you two big bastards.
well,
in Teddy Hoops.
I was gonna say Teddy Hoops at the table with us. I'd say that would be it. I think somebody that would be fun and I'm not. Gosh, Brado's not gonna like this, but he'd be a fun. You know, like in that
Yeah.
group of these
No.
people that we've been involved with.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Brado
Like-
would be on the. Oh, he'd be on the list. For
Yeah,
me,
Yeah.
yeah.
for sure.
Well, Brock Matthews probably on
Brock
your
would
list.
be on my list.
Yeah.
Yardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and Ross Foos. I mean, you know, that'd be my list. And then we're on a group text together. I mean, it's your close friends that you could give
Yep.
it to.
Yeah.
You could give it to and take it.
Yeah.
Because the roast,
'Cause
if
they
it was going
know.
to be played on TV, would probably
For
actually
sure.
be cleaner than what's in the group text.
Yes.
Yes.
For
If
sure.
some asshole ever started hacking group text,
Oh,
Oh,
it
we'd
would
all
be
go
dangerous.
to jail. We all
it
go
would
to
be
jail.
dangerous.
because it's happening every day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every
yeah,
night.
every
Yeah.
25 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have to be like your good buddies you spend time with, you know really well, that like they have those weird ticks that you've just accepted.
Yeah.
You know, like
I've got lots of weird tips.
yeah, Dave, you would be
You
an
guys would
easy,
have a heyday.
low hanging fruit, as they would say.
I got some low hanging fruit.
Well, never mind. But I think that's what you would have to. It would be a blast. I think it would be.
Maybe we'll work on that for
Maybe we'll do
season
that to
3
Gaslight.
somewhere.
Gaslight.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a roast.
Yeah, we'll just have a roast.
We'll pick somebody to roast.
We'll let old Curtis Crow be the daggone
MC.
aficionator. You know that thing.
Aficionator. Yeah.
The master of ceremonies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would
I
be
feel
a
like
blast.
DJ Ripsky would be a good one. I feel like he's probably pretty sharp, even though he doesn't know us.
Yeah, he would
No. So like when you go back through time and you think of some of the ones that are like the most iconic ones, I mean, like Tom Brady's, this one is, I mean, it's obviously fresh on the internet, but they're ranking it up there with some of the best.
be. Well,
ones.
because they did it to where it was
Yeah.
unedited and on Netflix.
Right.
But how about
Like-
but how about his with a boss? I mean, we're talking about buddies.
Yeah.
Would you be able to do boss?
Oh, no.
I mean, either.
No, because we'd get fired immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe if we didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, if you didn't
anymore,
have to
know?
worry
I mean,
about
yeah,
it.
I mean,
You
Like
can
as
do
a
anything.
retirement thing,
You
like,
can,
hey, you
maybe
silly
if you were the
bastard.
GOAT and won several Super Bowls for your boss, you could do it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and this is, I mean, the perspective of it is that era of the Patriots has been done,
Yeah.
and all that. There's no original pieces left to that because you're not going to do it while Bill's still working for the Patriots and all that other stuff. So, I mean, it would be like you retired, and then you're like, yeah, we're going to roast our, your boss or whoever it would be.
So, if I may interject here, who wouldn't you roast?
Probably my wife. I probably
That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know if I could.
I wouldn't want to dip my toes in those waters.
That was what I was thinking, but I don't think that I could sit by and watch my wife get roasted.
No.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd have a fit. Like even though like everybody means it well, I
It
don't know
depends
that
if
I
you
could.
took your testosterone and Adipex, you might be fighting somebody.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Mine,
we-
would,
we-
mine
so-
wouldn't last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To fight somebody.
Yeah. So here, Charlie Sheen was probably one of the best ones of all time.
When did they do that? Was that post HIV positive or pre HIV positive?
He's got tiger's blood, man. Who knows?
Okay,
David Hasselhoff,
that'd be a good one.
Bob Saget,
God rest his soul.
amen, T's and P's, Flavor Flav,
That's low hanging fruit.
and William Shatner. That one there, that is a hell of a
Did
combo.
you guys ever hear that song? Have we talked about the song you sang that I like?
What's that?
Common People.
William Shatner?
Yeah.
He sang a song. Huh?
Well, he spoke on his song.
Oh,
So he
Very.
pulled a Bob Dylan.
Rescue 911.
So you've
was
heard it.
probably mine.
I've not heard it. I
Okay.
just
Okay.
William Shatner and his role in the show Rescue 911 was probably one of my top 5s of all time.
Don't know if I've ever seen Rescue 911.
Oh man, are you kidding
is
me?
it Rescue or Reno 911?
Rescue? Yeah, not Reno.
I've not.
Rescue
you know what he's
911 is
talking
like
about?
the
I don't know
Baywatch
I don't Reno 911.
spoof, right?
Yeah.
No, Rescue
Rescue
911 was like a legit reality TV show about like
Chicago,
no
New York,
No, it's
big
like
city.
guys, no, like it was an EMT crew.
What
like,
they do?
Rescue 911. Like it just showed.
We don't know what you're looking at.
Rescue 911 is an informational documentary television series that premiered on CBS from 1989 until 1996.
Oh, yeah.
This series was hosted
Well, I
by
know you're talking about something 35 years ago.
William Shatner. What do you mean?
Let me see.
I was
William
thinking
Shatner
of
was
the,
in that?
Yeah, he was the God
No,
blessed host.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
That ain't William Shatner. That's
No,
the other
that's
guy.
the dude on the damn thing. That's William Shatner. Look at that beautiful bastard. That is 100% William Shatner.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
Really?
haven't either.
No.
Look it up. It's
Probably because it was
Look it
35 years ago.
worth the time.
Yeah, that would be
Okay,
it.
that's all I got.
wow.
I think if you went to roast your wife, it would get too personal in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
Like successful marriages, you accept a lot of the faults of your spouse. Even though I took some criticism for saying marriage is easy.
Yeah.
What's your take? Well, we can talk about that later.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Marriage is easy.
You almost pulled a Brado on me there.
Yeah,
On
I
the
don't want to
spot.
throw you in the fire. Well, we know your wife's an avid fan
Yes,
of the show.
absolutely.
Yeah.
She loves you guys.
We appreciate that. Nothing else on it?
No.
Nothing else on the roast of Tom Brady?
No. I mean, just roast in general, I guess. I don't know. I was just thinking about
Didn't they do a roast of Donald Trump?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that they've done.
Oh, geez. They've been doing them for years.
You got to be a good sport about it. I think it's the big thing.
Yeah.
And you got to know you'll get your chance
Yeah.
to get them back.
I mean, do you set ground? I mean, set ground rules. I mean, do you have to.
Well, like
I
this-
imagine
A couple
before.
topics, like here's what's off limits.
Probably depends on the caliber of celebrity that you're messing with. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I know the Snoop Dogg thing, like, the whole him and Martha Stewart deal. And then, like, when they started Kevin Hart, who was it that introduced Kevin Hart as Shaq's dick? You remember that one? Like, hey, we got Shaq's dick.
Wasn't that Justin Bieber?
Nah, I don't remember.
Or was that Sarah Silverman?
I don't know.
Didn't Nikki Glazer have a
the
Kevin
hell
Hart
is
joke
Nikki
that involved
Glazer?
The Rock?
Yeah.
She had something where it was like The Rock's.
I don't know.
There was something there.
Yeah.
She tied The Rock into with Kevin Hart.
I think the one, the best
Nikki
one,
Glazer.
the fun that said Tom Brady's absolutely petrified of giants, so that's why we invited Kevin Hart or some shit. Like, he just gets destroyed
Yeah.
for being short all the time.
There was two other things that I wanted to point out. One of them was Tom Brady's ex, old lady,
Giselle
was not happy.
They said that. They said Nikki Glazer said he's got 7 rings. I mean 8 rings because Giselle gave hers back or some shit like that. That's what he said.
Well, but then like some karate instructor or like how do you think she was a white belt for 3 years? She wasn't doing karate.
Oh no!
Like just the extramarital. She didn't like that. And then Aaron Hernandez's
oh
ex,
yes.
she was like, my daughter's going to watch this someday. And her idea of the hero, like, because the guys on Pardon My Take were talking about it. And they're like, he murdered a dude. And then he hung himself.
Yeah, because
Like, I don't know if that's a good thing for
what the
hero
hell.
worship.
Something about like it was a joke about the stool. Like, you're sitting on the stool, or they said something about just like the stool Aaron Hernandez was sitting on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was, I don't know how you could, because she went into like very explicit, like,
You can sit on the couch. We got another
he's
guy
a
just
he's a
wondering.
hero, he's a this, he's a that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough spot. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like I said, if you get a chance to sit down and strap in for that whole thing, like it's freaking savage, man. It's nutty.
okay, so here's what I've been wondering about: which professional sports athletes would you want to party with, and why?
Hockey players.
Okay, so here's where I'm at on this. So it was kind of the roast of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And then I've been watching playoff hockey, and on Pardon My Take, they had Paul Bissonnette and Ryan Whitley, who are hockey guys that come on, and they've shared some stories. And I was like, you know what? If I was going to go out and party with professional athletes, I think hockey players would be the dudes because it would turn into a blast.
Yeah.
And so, like, hockey was the one I chose.
Either you're getting like rip roaring wasted or you're going to fight. One or the other. Like,
well, you might do both of them.
Yeah.
Pretty good chance.
You know, they're doing just, I don't know if they can do it or not, but you would only imagine that they're doing just monster gaggers of white gator tail, just getting all ready to rip. You know what I mean? And like just getting all
Hockey
crazy.
players are a different breed.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane, dude. No teeth, fighting, skating son of bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a big hockey guy.
Mace skate. You skater?
I used to, man. I really used to. Honest to goodness gracious, I used to be a very good skater for a big dude.
Yeah.
You know how many
nimble
people are
on the
going to laugh
blades,
that
huh?
just heard that?
Could you do one of them frappes?
Oh.
That's a drink from McDonald's.
That couch guy swallowed down as a diabetic.
No, I don't know. We didn't. I don't think I could.
He did. He came in with like a bag of candy and that
Gummy bears and a macho
He's the
chocolate
worst
latte.
diabetic I've ever met in my life.
I have seen
And we
that,
catch shit.
I've seen that human being put away more hostess than I would ever dream of. You know what I mean?
So Big Mace's got hockey players. What do you got?
You know what? I feel like who I
Rodeo clown.
no the folk in high school I was voted most likely to be a rodeo clown. Man.
Shocker.
I
That
feel
could
like
be the next shirt idea. Your rose-colored glasses with clown makeup.
Oh man.
I imagine I'd probably get along best with NASCAR drivers.
Oh yeah.
I bet they're good
Jeff
old
Gordon.
Yeah, but you're talking about
the old Rainbow Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior.
yeah, but you're talking about old school NASCAR guys that used
Yeah.
to smoke cigarettes and do
I
200
think
miles an hour.
I bet the new
Smoke
school
Winstons.
NASCAR guys are probably just as. I think that's what makes them unique. Is they're just kind of detached.
They're a
from
different
the-
breed too.
Yeah. Now they're not doing gator tails.
Yeah.
Probably not doing
big,
gator
long
tails.
gaggers of.
But I bet you if you're
white
getting
gator
good
tail.
and drunk and raising trouble in town and running from the cops, like in a car, like the high speed pursuit.
Oh,
like,
that's what you're going
just
with.
good old fashioned American blue collar fun.
Yeah. What about you?
Blue
Okay,
collar.
so I'm going to go. This would be a.
I think I know where you're going.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, maybe. So this would be an event that would be a dream, but I would have to go winning the Ryder Cup
Yeah.
on American soil.
I knew.
okay.
I mean,
So,
winning
like
the
that-
Ryder
that
Cup
party?
on American soil,
That party.
party.
Yeah.
Now, I
Ah.
don't know if that answers the question.
The
You're not
question-
partying with golfers.
Oh, you're not.
But, I mean, not on a regular basis.
What
but
about
that
what about
party?
like the LIV? Like that
yeah,
that whole
I'm not a
scene.
big LIV guy.
Well, that's
Most
okay.
people just say
But it's a
live.
pretty
I didn't
good-
know you were going to go
Live.
LIV.
But, I mean,
But it is LIV because it's a Roman numeral, right?
Yeah,
because about the
everybody
amount
calls
of
it
holes they
54.
play.
Yeah.
and-
unfortunately, the camera's shut off. But you've got to imagine that's a scene in
Oh,
New
yeah.
York or, when the Americans
Now, what
have
kind of
won
grass
that.
is it on the greens? Is that Zoysia?
Bent grass.
Bent.
Where's that
Or
come from?
Poana. Or,
Comes from a seed, Dave.
Well, but I mean, is it an American seed or do we bring that here from the?
Scotland.
Yeah,
This comes from Scotland.
probably American.
So
American
it's probably
bread.
not American soil.
American.
American
Oh, it's not the soil is American, dipshit.
Oh, the
not
grass
the
is.
grass.
Goddamn smoke.
Yeah, sorry,
all right,
sorry.
so-
I was,
Ruined my thunder. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, you could name any
Who would be your regular party group, though?
regular party group. So I can't go with Ryder Cup.
No, you
American
can say that specific event.
Like you could just say the Ryder Cup American Golf Team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm going that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going that route.
So here's what I was thinking.
I knew we were somewhere in the golf.
when I broke down the sports and thought about
John
it.
Daly. Can I just go there?
Yeah,
There we go.
you know, Colt Ford was a professional golfer.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
Good hands.
Colt Ford, really?
Yeah,
Big
Love
old-
me some Colt Ford.
yeah, he was a professional golfer.
So here's what I was thinking. Football players, that's a different mix because you got some that are going to get into the liquor and you got some that are the beer guy. Then I thought about like professional basketball players. And I was like, that's like a wine and cocktail group, but a weird
Yeah.
vibe towards the end of the night. Like they're
I
weird
mean-
vibe guys at the end of the night.
Yeah, but
Oh,
what
I
about
bet
the
so.
eras though?
Yeah, that there.
The NBA era.
Okay, we were going to kick it with Larry Bird. Yeah, we're
that
drinking
era.
Yeah, we want
Bud Lights and
Johnson.
ripping Marlboros.
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
we
and,
want pre-Diddy
filling our
basketball.
mustache with Coke boogers.
Yeah, that's what that'd
That's just
be.
a whole different. I know there's. I've made 7 references to cocaine.
Cocaine.
We
Got it on your mind?
We do not, in any way, shape, or form, condone the use of.
I mean, look at us.
And
cocaine.
next week in the Chronicles of Big Mace,
We
I
don't
got-
look like upper people.
No.
got selected for a random piss
I
test.
may have coached with a former NBA basketball player, and I think it was a good time.
Yeah, I would say probably so. Soccer players, weird. Out on that.
Drinking
really-
sons of bitches,
Really
though, I
good
bet
big
you.
runners,
Yeah.
long runners. I
But
bet
not we have anything against runners because
Yeah,
we got a
no,
No,
stable
I
of
think
runners.
soccer people are partiers. Like when you get over
The
there.
fans.
Ole, ole, ole,
I guess I'm
like that
thinking
one?
like the Irish and Scottish type.
just like
The pubs.
MFL
Yeah,
people in general.
yeah.
Then there you get to swimmers, swimming, tough spot.
I like to.
Track and field
I
athletes.
mean, just drinking and water and
I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of drinking and water.
I
though.
like to float,
but it's not
floating.
a party.
You're not
Yeah.
swimming though.
Yeah. So I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
That's
don't
just
win.
baseball. Like as much as I'd want it to be baseball, I think it's such a long season. Those guys are too.
Wait a minute. What's the
Tar.
guy from? Remember the movie back in the day, and it was Charlie Sheen, and he had his hair all cut like with
Major League.
Major
Major
League. Yeah.
League.
What was his name?
Major League.
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
Rick Vaughn.
Rick
Rick
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
That's it.
Wild
That
thing.
guy was a partier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
He was in jail.
yeah, that's true.
All thing.
All the best parties are.
Put glasses on them. So I don't know. Is there any other sports
Jaboo.
that would stick out? Professional rugby players, that's a drinking time. They would be close to your hockey players. Different breeds.
I was gonna say. So my first thought when you said
What
this
about-
was UFC fighters.
What
but
about WWE? Like the old school.
Old school WWE.
Like
Andre the
Ric
Giant,
Flair,
where like
oh,
that whole
those
ass,
guys.
like he drank like
Macho
98
Man,
beers
Randy
a day.
Savage.
Yeah, those guys
Those
are
guys.
those guys
They
are
were
doing
probably a good time.
large mounds of powdered sugar. Like those guys didn't blow out their hearts because of steroids. The steroids didn't help. It was the massive amounts of blow
So there's
they would do.
There's a thread. There's a Reddit thread, and it's literally your topic to a T. Which pro athletes party the hardest? And it says it's a dumb postseason debate question, but with a lot of socials being filled with celebrations right now, I've been reading several things. But for me, I watch a lot of professional bull riders. They're pretty hardcore.
Those guys
I
are
don't
just-
think so.
F1 drivers talk about having a beer after they win.
Okay.
having one beer.
Yeah, and then
it being a
the first
Heineken.
person,
Heineken Zero.
3 favorite sports or famous party people. Boxers,
No,
I don't see a boxer being a.
the people around the
rugby?
boxers. Rugby for sure. Yeah,
and hockey players.
yeah. Rugby and hockey players would take.
And then
the cake.
there's MMA fighters. It only takes one John Jones Google search.
And this
You'll see
hippie
why.
here never heard of NASCAR because I'm telling you, I feel like
Well-
NASCAR guys are going to like, hey, you know what we ought to do? Let's go knock
There
that
it is,
pig over
Casey.
the head.
What's that?
Throw it on fire.
Here we go. Jack Grealish is still smashed after the Manchester City's Champion League win. There's your soccer players.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing with golfers is finicky group, never leave golf alone. And I just got a feeling the old drugs would sneak into that party pretty quick.
I was saying
I
Taylor
bet
Hill
you
ripped
disc
ungodly amounts
golf.
of blow when he-
Oh, yeah.
What do you call
They're
frisbee golf?
Huge potheads.
Who?
Disc golf.
Disc golfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they invented the sport. We're gonna go get
Yeah.
high
What do you
in the
call them?
woods and throw a disc.
Shoegazers?
That's hippies in general.
I feel like that's
Shoegazers. They listen to like the
Fish.
Slandering those that play disc golf.
Grateful Dead, and like they just they look at their
no. I
shoes
like the Grateful Dead.
when they dance and stuff.
Oh, geez. Smoke
Anyway,
Dragon.
what you got, man?
What you got?
Okay, so I told you to remember about Kim Kardashian,
Yeah,
and I don't remember your statement, but apparently it
she
sounds
got
like.
booed.
And then they made it sound like she was applauded.
Yes.
Well, they edited it when it forward to
So I was thinking about this the other day. Kids got sent home from school due to inclement weather.
Yes.
Had to do a little bit of
The threat.
I think it was a finish today from home type of situation.
Yeah.
So, and I realized, I remember being in high school, and I was bootlegging soda pops out of my locker. For
You have a little Debbie's with it?
Nope, it was just Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper's all I kept because those are the hot sellers, but it was stacked full of the cubes. That was about the time the cubes came out, and they fit right in there. So I had to carry everything I had in my backpack. And that SOB weighed as much as I did with the books from all those classes. Now, the kids these days have their Chromebooks.
Yep.
I'm like, man, that's cool. That must be easy. But I got to thinking, and I'm just going to read this word for word so it makes sense here because I've had a couple. So as the world moves away from books and toward digital records, how are we going to keep history alive for future generations to learn from? And how do you ensure the integrity or accuracy of those records? And my point is, when everything's digital, if the masses say, hey, we probably just shouldn't talk about the Wandering Dutchman because them fat bastards are not what we want people thinking successful is in this day and age.
Of course.
So they just wipe us from the records just with a delete button.
Like
So very Orwellian 1984.
Sure, but I mean,
Like that pool?
so you
What
go
was
through the Orwell.
George Orwell wrote 1984, and I think Dave's theme here is very 1984-ish, to which you can delete history. And what is history then? Very common to what you see now with taking down statues.
So, like, go to the encyclopedia. When I was coming up, not everybody had encyclopedias. You had to have a little bit, your family had to be doing okay, but a lot of people had encyclopedias.
Yes.
So you had a printed version of history that was accepted by the general public.
Commonly accepted, yes.
There you go. And a lot of people in my generation, their parents probably still have it stuck down in the basement in a tote somewhere. You can't get rid of it. It's there. You can find it. But as we move on, and now all the school's done on a Chromebook, like all it takes is somebody to do and then change did happen to a could have happened, and then the whole course of history changes because we just don't want folks knowing that Tower of Babel stuff and the people.
humble brag here.
Yeah.
I was invited to be a speaker at a career day type thing and discuss podcasting with younger generations because
It's always this guy.
Well,
because
it's got to be the stash.
they said
Surprised they'd let him into school with that.
they said that in the future that kids are not gonna there's not gonna be it won't be very long until there's no textbooks.
We're there.
Oh, we're there.
You know what I mean?
We're not buying textbooks. We're at best you're getting a classroom set now.
So with that being said, she said kids are not gonna sit down and read a book. They're gonna go to
Which is a shame.
Yeah, they're gonna go to a podcast. They're gonna look at an audio book. They're gonna do something on a digital.
In my reading, I'm reading from my iPad because I don't want to go buy the book, and then where the hell do you put it? It takes a lot of
exactly.
space.
That's what I'm saying. So she was like, "Hey, I think it's cool for kids at a younger age to start learning about digital media and all these newer platforms and things like that, such as podcasting and everything." And I said, well,
Probably some of them ought to look at OnlyFans.
yeah, probably. Maybe.
Figure out that.
I've been
When they
thinking about it.
become of age,
Yeah,
not
We
not
don't
like
condone-
kids or anything.
We don't do the
Jesus.
R. Kelly
Good
thing.
grief.
Good
But anyway,
That took a turn.
yeah, I don't know, man. But I think that stuff though has been happening for a long time, and
But
you
it's
don't.
hard to recall an entire. So when the United States, so the teacher, what we teach is very much government approved, and
Well,
has been for a while.
that's obviously James Orwell's whole thing is that communicate his concerns related to authoritarian governments.
Yeah,
And,
there's my pro. See, I'm an anti-authoritarian.
what they
person.
want you to learn, what
Yeah.
the government wants you to know about, right?
But it's weird to go back. Jenna found a box of just antique books at some sale in an antique store, and she just bought them to put on the shelf because the covers were ancient. But you read through, and it one of them was a geography book from the early 1900s, and there's things different now than there was then, and there's still a record that it wasn't always the line in the sand wasn't always here. It moved type of thing, but now it's just bloop, 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 and that line never existed.
Wikipedia, for example,
Can be edited.
Yeah,
The problem is I can go on Wikipedia in there right now and say David Smoker, the famous podcaster,
Correct.
was known mainly
For his
for his
anti-government stance.
14-inch
phallus.
Well, I was going to say cricket club, but sure.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean, like Wikipedia, but so many kids rely on shit from Wikipedia. Like if you go, like my kids will always, like if they get it's crazy to me because like when I was a kid, we did have the World Book set. Mom and Dad had the
I had the student's handbook at home.
the traveling.
What a humble brag, that guy over there.
the
We got him
traveling,
with the gold leathering. And,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did. We had the red and the blue or green.
yeah. So
But
did
like
we.
you know, the dudes that came by and sell them or whatever, Mom and Dad buy them. Hell yeah, we got the whole set. Went to Oak Express in Evansville, bought a brand new damn
Big
book-
time.
guys got
bookshelf.
money just coming out of his
bookshelf.
ears.
Hey, you got power plant money back
Power
in the
plant
day,
money.
boy.
Yeah, got roll call.
All right,
Right.
so I'll throw the teacher out in me here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we've had to do in the realm of education as this has happened over the last 25, 30 years is you've got to try to stay ahead of the game, and now it's AI.
Wow.
In the classroom, and
Yeah.
you know it's just part of it. You got to learn how to use it, but you have to teach the students the new version. So what to David's point, you have to teach what's a valuable site, what's a real site,
Yeah.
how do you fact check.
No
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Well,
So-
good luck with
so
that.
you're
now.
Yeah,
not-
you got to vet through a lot of crap.
You're vetting through that. So not only are you just going through the first two things that pop up on a Google search, you have to look who the author is, who's writing it, where's it coming from.
Yeah.
You're teaching those things.
Like
Grief,
sources.
what is that called?
So when we were in
Sourcing.
high school,
citing
sourcing.
sources.
yeah,
But when we were in high school, you went to the library,
yeah, yeah.
and you
the
only
old
had
Dewey
two
Decimal
options.
System.
You only had two options.
Decimal
You had
What the hell? We got to go to the
encyclopedia.
old index, or what's
Yeah.
was it the not the
The
index?
Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, smoke
Yo, Dewey.
screaming it.
Yeah.
Now you have. I mean, they're going to take the easy way out. They're going to pick the first two options on the Google
Yeah.
search,
Yeah.
but
But I think here's what I'll say. Even when you look back through history, towns, cities, they used to have 2 newspapers, 3 newspapers, 4 newspapers. And you know why they did? Because one newspaper was a Democrat newspaper. One newspaper was a Republican newspaper. One newspaper said they were centrist. And so I think the problem that we face today is we're so quick to label the New York Times as what is their big the democracy dies in the darkness.
Fox
Well,
News
who are
is
they?
obviously right wingers, and CNN are left wingers. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
here,
yes,
but
I
the
know
problem
what
of it
you-
is when you declare yourself the authority of what is there, that's not true. And I think what you've seen because of this movement where it's gone into like what Teddy Hoops is saying, you've seen a counter movement on avenues like Twitter where you have people that are like, I'm doing the work. Here's the sources. I'm not just some crazy Alex Jones figure screaming out wild shit, but like, here's my sources. Like, I think you see a lot more independent news outlets. And I think that that's why the debate about Twitter or X is so massive, because it should be a place of sharing ideas and be that town square.
Sure.
Without
freedom
there
of
being the
speech, like,
interference.
that's what it is.
But you even hear like, because the big news.
For a non-political podcast, I feel like I've really steered us off track in the last
Nah,
9
it's all right.
episodes.
But I think like the Trump campaign group were raising Cain because they said that Google took down one of his ads. Like the real problem of what it is you have these multi-level corporations that are massive that back in the early days, you as a history guy, when they were breaking up the Rockefellers and everybody else saying you can't have these monopolies, you've actually done the opposite and you've created these massive monopolies now that control a lot. And that's the scary thing of it is that they've done this and they've not realized, or they do and they don't
They
care.
realize.
They know, because if you look at who Google donates to, probably 95% of money donated by Google exec goes to guess what side.
Yeah.
And then another 5% goes to the other side where they can say, well, we donate to them too. Yeah, but if you're donating $1 million and 950,000 is going to one side and 50 is going to the other, that's not necessarily supporting in an equal manner. So I think you'll have history will show that sometimes there's got to be an event or something that happens, and then there's a reaction that brings you back a little bit, a kind of counterculture movement. And I think a younger generation gets into, I don't mean to cut you off, but a younger generation gets into politics that grew up in this, they're going to say, you know what, Google is a problem because Google's too massive. They can control that. They need to be broken up.
And that's my point. So we all what do we call it? Breaking down a fourth wall. I always thought I was a Republican because that's what I knew my family was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was a young man and out of college, I thought I was a Republican because I was just a diehard Republican. And now I'm like, at best, I'm a libertarian because I really don't give two shits what somebody does in their own personal space. Just don't take my money because it's my money. But from now back, you could change your opinion. It's hard to do, but there was reference material where you could go back and research. If you found yourself at a crossroads questioning a belief of anything, whether it be politics or the origin of butterflies, I don't give a shit. But you can go back and there's documentation there that's ancient, more or less, or and you can go back and see it.
Yeah, but
now we're getting to where everything's digital, and I believe that we are pushing society one way. The big we are pushing from two sides, but one direction. But now, how do you go back once you've decided in 20 years that, man, maybe there's more to this story? How do you go back and get any?
Well, but I think historians back in time didn't look at just one source. And I think that will have to continue forward, that you're going to look at, here's the main idea. Now I'm trying to disprove of what I have or what I don't have. And I think you're still going to have that. But I think to your point, there's things like the Library of Congress. There's, they tuck away a lot of stuff where now they do a lot of digital stuff. But, that's why like small libraries in your communities are very important.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have the library we have in Huntingburg. Full disclosure, I sit on the board as a board of trustees. I've been there for like 10, 11 years now.
Love my library.
Love my library. But it's just one of those things.
To prove it.
Well, I think that the mower guy got it.
Oh, did it?
From the county. Yeah. If he's a fan of the show, like, hey, no big deal, pal.
Yeah, but
on the flip side, if he did, like, you ripped my library sign up.
Yeah, like watch my library sign.
Yeah,
bro.
you son of a bitch. But I don't know, Dave.
Sucker.
Your concern is valid, but I think you'll start to see change when there's that generation that understands it, gets into it. But look at the current landscape of politics. What is it full of? Freaking old people that don't have a clue that when they entered into Congress, there was no internet. You didn't even have a fax machine. Like they sent things by telegram back then.
Hell yeah.
But it just takes time for that to change. So,
Teddy, that's what I was wondering about.
Yeah. Teddy Hoops, we waited for you to have something to really.
It's a tough one to follow.
Knock
David
our
got
socks
deep there. Yeah, obviously right now, and I think this one goes on different levels, but man, the Pacers finally in the playoffs.
Really? I haven't been watching Pacers basketball.
Then here we are with them and the heated rivalry of Reggie Miller and the Knicks and Spike Lee and all this. And
Spike Lee's still alive?
yeah, I guess.
I didn't know Reggie Miller was still alive.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Reggie looked.
Did the
Reggie's
game the other night. But the
Reggie's in great
officiating,
shape.
I want to talk about officiating. Let's go. Yeah.
This guy will yell at an official for no big deal, for anything.
So supposed to be the best officials in the world, right?
Yeah.
NBA.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. Best officials in the world. But I don't watch a ton of NBA, full disclosure. I don't. But I do watch a lot of NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I think
that's
most
when
NBA people watch the playoffs.
That's when I feel like I think they're the best athletes in the world. I really do.
Teddy Hoops.
Wow.
Hardwood Mace.
I do. I think they're the
bold statement.
best athletes in the world.
NBA basketball players?
basketball players. I really do. And I think
I don't
in the
think
NBA,
so, but we can talk about that some other time.
when they decide to play like the NBA playoffs, it's enjoyable to watch, in my opinion.
So May through June.
But it is hard to watch as a basketball guy because I just feel like the it's so.
They don't let him play.
Didn't the Pacers
it's so set up? I think.
Well,
did the Pacers issue a grievance or something about
76
calling?
I thought it was 82.
82
I think it was
plays.
82 plays that they said was wrong, that officials should have made or they did make, and it was the wrong
So
call.
here's the ongoing question: are these games
Fixed?
Is this a business? Is this thing fixed?
With the opening up of sports betting everywhere, I could see it really being.
I think there's going to be a real issue with.
There's always been people willing to take a fall if the money's right.
I was going to say, what about the documentary about the college players back in the day that were throwing games for shit tons of money? Remember we talked about that?
Oh, yeah.
Documentary.
Man,
So-
in college, I would have thrown a court trial for a case of beer.
So here's what I always thought. My stance was always like, it is way too hard to get that right.
Yeah.
The game is moving so fast.
Yeah.
There's so many moving variables. But man, the more and more I watch this, and I'll go on. I'll go on record. You watch Game 3, it's going to go the Pacers' way.
Because they're going to want that to go to 7.
Well, but look, they're going to want it to go to 6 or 7. But they
Game
filed
7,
a
Madison
grievance.
Square.
They filed a grievance.
Yeah.
Coach comes out and makes some statements.
Yeah. It'll retract.
Maybe that's all just wrestling, and that was part of it all along, just to get people watching. Because there's what do you call it? There's
Inner dialogue? What do you mean?
Inner dialogue.
like
That's a random pool.
drama. Like, oh, well, we're gonna
They want
file
eyeballs
something with
watching.
the NBA. So then people like me, that,
in seats.
Yeah.
like I don't watch basketball, but I heard about this NBA grievance filing for the calls.
absolutely cannot stand watching NBA.
I agree. So I guess
Playoffs are like I'm going to support them in this. Like, there's some late night West Coast NBA
they
games
guard in the playoffs.
that they like. I'll maybe flip through because there's nothing else on because Hawaii baseball hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
And I'll watch a little bit, and I'm like, this is brutal. It's run down 1-on-1, throw up a shot. Either going to make or miss. We're going to walk.
They should make
slow
like,
jog up down the floor.
Through season, like win incentives.
Well, that's why they did the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this Pacers group was a part
But
of, and they lost to the Lakers.
kind of get to the point, is this why professional sports are, in some professional sports are starting to, is it becoming such a is it fake almost?
You
to a
could
point?
say that it was just all pushed by the government to bring people in, and now that people are more tied up in drama and personal effects, that's just what the government's pushing. So we're all watching that, and not the big picture.
I think, well, you hear a lot of people talk about the NFL being scripted.
Oh.
Like Taylor
That's what I'm
Swift comes
saying.
on board,
I mean-
like it's all scripted. But I think
I
it
don't know.
lends itself too much
I don't
to.
want to believe it.
As a sports fan or as a football, like a diehard football guy, I mean, how the hell do you script a football game?
I used to think that same thing about basketball in the NBA.
Yeah, but I mean, there's too many moving parts in
The Rothschilds are going, that's right, baby.
the Rothschilds. I just think that the NBA or the NFL is just, there's too many moving parts for it to be scripted. I mean, it's bad snaps, busted plays, bootlegs, all
You
these
tell me
things
that in the WWE, when they're smacking mother truckers
now
with
that's fake
chairs,
as shit.
No, it's not.
But-
Yes, it is.
That's real.
That's
But
those
you're
guys-
telling me-
that's real.
you're telling me that these sweaty, bloody SOBs on these ropes and running around all over frantically, all doped up on cocaine,
Cocaine.
don't make mistakes, and it doesn't go to exactly
But
to
what
the
about
plan every
what
time?
about Belichick getting signs and you look the other way and
Or the deflate gate stuff.
Well, yeah. Did you hear Tom talk about the deflate gate too?
I mean, but
it's like, yeah,
I mean,
what,
so but
I could have saved you $18 million and just came out and said, yeah, I did it.
Yeah. You wouldn't say that at the time, but well, I think probably
because at the end of the day, this is how you're wired. I know you are.
yeah.
I've known you long enough. It's a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about businesses are making money.
You need the goats and
Yeah.
the big names to.
It's hard for me to imagine.
This was Carlisle's point last night. We're not a big market.
No,
They need New York
want
to
Knicks.
move
They
on.
want New York and Boston to play each other.
Correct.
And then they want New York to play whoever it would be on the other side from the West Coast.
It sucks for us in Indiana because we want.
the
it's been a
highest,
while for
the
space.
highest paid people in our lifetimes have always been entertainers, and I don't know how you justify paying somebody tens of millions of dollars a year to play a sport where you're only actually working 20% of the year. I don't know. Baseball, those guys are busting their asses.
Those guys play half a
Half a year
games.
in like
Yeah.
7 days. Like I think they're probably the most playing out there. But I'm not saying that I think it's scripted. But if somebody said, "Hey, we've got the data," and come to find out, professional sports are rigged, I'd go, "Well, that stacks up."
It's
This-
sports
And here's why.
entertainment.
And here's why I'll cap it all off. This is why I brought the topic up. It's for my buddies, my reffing buddies. This is why. Okay, they're supposed to be the best in the world, but I'm a coach. I'll still go back to my boys, the high school level. I think they do a great job. I really do. I mean, I was on their butts as a head coach at one point.
Well,
but
Yeah.
I still love it at the heart, at the local level. They work their butts off to try to get it right, and they deal with a lot of crap. And they're not all great officials out there.
No.
Don't give me, but there's a lot of good ones
Yeah, there are.
that work really, really hard for kids
Yeah.
to get to enjoy. And you know how it is, Casey, with baseball right now. There's official shortage.
you
Good luck
can't
finding
find them.
umpires.
You can't find them.
find them.
You can't.
No.
And
And I guarantee you that reffing or umpiring or officiating a youth sports game from, say, like, let's just say from the 3rd grade to the 6th grade is probably 50,000 times harder
oh gosh,
than what it would be to officiate, like, let's just say a high school baseball state championship game.
Well, how in the hell do you call stuff on kids that don't even know what shoe to put on?
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
and
what
I'm
I'm
not-
saying. But
It's like, okay, yeah, I tied my shoe today. What do you mean that wasn't out? Well, little Jimmy.
But what I'm saying
You
is,
swung
though,
4
is
times.
you have
Yeah.
every single parent on the planet.
they know it all.
Yeah, they know more than that umpire. And you reach a certain point where the level of play just makes it easy for the umpires. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
oh,
It's
absolutely.
except for those 1 or 2 tough ones.
The farther you go in the tournament, the
yes,
easier the game.
yes.
well,
that's
the
what I
more
mean.
those kids understand the rules and they don't want to lose the game because
Well,
they didn't follow a
there
rule.
again, but then on the other side of that coin, the farther you make it through the tournament, the more important
It is. There's
those
more
calls
pressure.
become. You know what I mean?
well, that's
pressure.
why your most
yeah.
seniors.
But what I've been told by close friends that are officials, the coaches are way better to work with the farther in the tournament. And I don't know if that's because there's less pressure because you've made it farther. But
happy to be here, kind of
happy
deal.
to be here kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know what I bet it is? It's probably more to do with the kids that are there at that time. Their parents aren't the type to bitch because little Jimmy didn't
Yeah.
get to play.
Well, no, that's it. That's what I
like
mean.
the parents
like
are probably better than like, hey, we're in this to win this.
in around
If
here, a
little
lot
Jimmy
of time,
has to sit
Yeah.
on the bench,
you go down.
glad you got to practice with
you
him,
go
kiddo.
down to a
Try next
Huntingburg
year.
Youth League baseball game. And like I said, sometimes sometimes there's problems. I mean, everybody's seen it. Not calling out the umpires or whoever like that, but this dude's just worked a 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
He's came and he's going to go back into the shed. He's going to strap on a chest protector and shit that's 5 times too small for him. He's going to go out there and try to call the best game that he can call. And he's going to have 30 people on both sides just mother effing him up one side, down the other.
Well, and
the problem is that if he's not there,
don't have a game.
we don't play.
Correct.
we
And people need to realize that.
when I
Exactly.
got back after my freshman year of college, I was going to do some little league umpiring, and I did a couple games.
Not a
behind,
chance.
I did a couple games behind the plate, and I remember it vividly. I think it was like the second game. First one, no big deal. Second game, some coach loses his mind, saying, "Well, little Jimmy didn't step on home plate."
Oh, my
and I go, I watched him step on home plate, and then start arguing about it, and then it pisses off the other coach because it's like, what are you like? And it just goes back and forth. And I'll say some of this though. I think as coaches, you can set the example of when it comes to showing respect to officials.
Absolutely.
And I think like my biggest thing, like in this middle school baseball league and group that plays up basically predominantly PAC teams and a few others, when I have that meeting, I tell them, we don't want any Johnny testosterones. If you're going to be that way, you're out.
Yeah.
The second thing, this is about development. You're not winning a damn thing in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. And the third thing of it is, umpires are so limited to get.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be that guy and do it, and I'm sure it probably pisses off some parents. I'm used to pissing off parents. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. But they'll wonder why you don't argue a call. It doesn't do me any good.
No.
And it's a very vivid lesson. We were up at Du Bois playing, and umpire behind the plate, and he's done a lot of our games this year. I like him. I think he does a good job. He misses some stuff here or there, but he does a good job. He called a low strike, like catcher grab dirt, and just kind of the low strike. A low pitch is the hardest pitch to call accurately. And I was walking back through, and I said, "Man, Jerry," I said, I just called
I
him.
knew you were
I'll
talking
edit that
about it.
out. I'll edit
I
that
knew
out.
How
it
you gonna
was
describe
coming.
this
I knew
guy?
it was coming.
But he's short, bald, and has a beard, and he's my best friend.
Jerry Haas, a living legend.
And I said, Jerry, I said, Dan, I think that's low. He goes, well, I think it was a strike, and that's what I called it. So it was a strike. And I go, Jerry, the catcher had to grab. And he said, I called it a strike. So it's a strike. I said, I'm not arguing with it. He goes, well,
Sounds like it.
yeah, well, that's
Then
exactly
take
what
your bearded bald ass and get back in the dugout.
Well, and so I just kept walking on, and I'm like, and at the middle school level, we're pretty fortunate because, like, if I'm going to go talk to an umpire, like, I'm going to walk up, I'm going to have that conversation. Like, it's not like you're going to get the call overturned.
No.
And it don't do any good to yell and scream.
No.
And your emotions get the best of you sometimes, but I've been doing it long enough, and I think that's the thing.
Here's what fans don't understand, and from a coach's perspective, there's an art.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's an art to it, and they don't get it.
There is a right and wrong way to talk to an official.
Yes, and there's a time, and there's a way, and you work them.
Yeah.
And it
starts
may
as-
not be this game. It may be the next game.
Name down.
and-
It always
Yeah.
starts with a handshake. Hey, Casey Lindemann, nice to meet you. Oh, so yeah, hey, cool. We know if you know somebody in common, and then if there's a situation walking
If you need
through,
some pointers on reffing, I'll be happy to help you out.
well, but it's a small talk conversation, and then what it leads to is when there's a call there. I said, hey, help me understand what you see. Well, I think I messed that up. I said, no, I'm not trying to say. I just want to know what you saw because I saw it different. And it's just a brief conversation walking through.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't understand that? Brandy O'Brien.
I've sat with her at a couple of. I think your wife and my wife should never be allowed to sit like in a sporting event where our sons will compete together
Yeah.
one of these
Yeah.
days, and
You
like
gotta send them up top.
they're gonna have to go away because they're gonna fight anybody in the gym. Like they.
I got.
Miss-
I'm like, you do know you're not helping. Us.
Yes, Mrs. O'Brien
Like,
is. She goes to another level.
I mean, we're at travel basketball
Yes.
this past weekend in
Yes.
Indy, and I'm like, this isn't helping.
Yeah.
Like it's like you do know you're at a travel basketball.
Yeah.
tournament. There's no good officials here.
Yeah.
Like you just know it when you walk in and pay your $25.
Your good ones don't do that stuff because
No.
I did fifth grade basketball down here when Janelle and I first got married, and I think we might have had Zoe, and they needed somebody, and I think it was that same group, Harry, Chach, those guys talked me into it, Doug Collins, and so I did a full year of fifth grade basketball, and it wasn't bad, and I had planned on coming back because I had people, start reaching out like, hey, we want you to do some seventh and eighth grade, like, hey, we want you to do a JV's girl game, like started to get those phone calls, which is what those guys all say. Like, start there, kind of know what you're doing, build up. And I did a set of the travel tournaments. I did the one at Southridge and then two at Forest Park. And that last one at Forest Park was so bad. It was the older kids. It was like that 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level. And I told the guy that organized the tournament, he's like, hey, we'll see you back next year. I said, lose my number. Don't call me.
Travel's the worst.
And the only reason I did it is I needed cash for Vegas.
Yep.
Because I didn't want my wife to know how much I took out of the account. But like I told her, I was like, I don't want to deal it. Like I had more parents and just the yelling and the screaming. And like during the regular season, like doing, because I think I did an 8th grade game and a 7th grade game with Doug Collins. And, it was good to do one with him. He gave some pointers. But like during the season, like it's not like that. But what you find is a lot of these travel teams are daddy coached.
Oh yeah.
And they just let it fly
Oh yeah.
because there's no repercussions.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't do it. I mean, sometimes coaches would make the worst officials. You watch the game instead of
Yeah.
you follow the ball.
Yeah.
we'll edit all that out. So remember what you had just said.
Because we weren't listening.
Yeah, because we weren't paying attention.
Okay.
So we'd be bad officials.
Because like you said, parents or coaches are bad officials because like we watch the ball. We just
Absolutely.
we just stay with what's going on and like we're watching the movement, we're watching the play develop, we're watching, picking up one kid here, one kid there, trying to lock in, and it just
I'm the worst little Raider official there is. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm trying.
yeah.
I might as well be coaching.
Yeah.
But
Hey, he is hardwood. Did you hear him over there?
Oh,
watching
yeah.
the play develop, not just watching one guy doing
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit of this, doing a little bit of that. Hey, are you going to have him on staff next year?
No.
Speaking of fans in the stands, that
They slowly
holler
just
at
kind of.
officials.
I'm good
Yeah.
at that.
that know nothing about the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
They just all slide in there. So, anything else on that, Teddy Hoops? Or are we
No,
good?
I think it was good.
That was good. All right. Hey, all that chatter was brought to you by our friends at Catering by Meyer.
A real conversation, probably recently had. Can you believe Susie is graduating this month? Well, no, I sure can't. But I can believe that I'm calling Catering by Meyer to handle the menu for her graduation party. Don't be that graduation party that everyone talks about, and not in a good way. They're booking up now and filling quick. Don't let Susie down. Plan the menu with the help of the experts at Catering by Meyer.
All right, fellas, here we go. Our buddies at Merkley & Sons, proud sponsors of the Merkley & Sons Choice Cut Questions of the Week for the fellas, brought to you by none other smoker
Yeah.
than Merkley & Sons.
Welcome to the Merkley & Sons Choice Cuts Question of the Week for the Fellas, sponsored by Merkley & Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. The Merkley & Sons ad has been heating up. Just at the end of April, they had smoked wieners, seasoned patties, fresh pork tenderloin, and the flavored brats on sale. Stop in there, see the fellas, and tell them the Dutchman sent you.
He loves the meat.
Here we go. Teddy Hoops, we'll start with you and work around. So these are kind of like these are work-related questions that we've got here. Have you, and this is going to be like we're blue-collar shaming.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm sure Big Fella doesn't have a City of Huntingburg email address that you could send like bmace@huntingburg.in.gov.
B-Mace.
Bmace.
D's nuts.
Have you ever accidentally replied all with something embarrassing?
No, I have not done that. I have posted. No, I've not replied all to an embarrassing email. I'll keep it at that.
I've sent something extremely inappropriate to someone that I shouldn't have on accident one time.
Did you send a dick pic?
No, something even worse than that. Too.
Somebody else's dick.
No, it was actually something way worser, and I sent it to the twins' teacher.
Oh, nice.
On accident one time.
Nice. Knowing what your algorithm looks like, I would not want to venture into
It was
that.
pretty spicy.
Smoke Dragon, what about you?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a big reply all guy. Have you ever sneakily ate someone else's lunch from the old office fridge?
No, but I work with somebody that does.
There's a.
Can I give names?
I mean, you can if you want to. It's totally up to you.
Come on, you know Winkler does it.
I
mean, duh.
I literally drank a drink that belonged to someone else today for lunch. But no, I usually don't. We share condiments, but we don't touch each other's food. No.
Negative. I've never. No.
Never have either. Spent more time planning your exit strategy from work than actual work.
No.
Yeah, pretty dedicated to the craft. Nodded along in a meeting, but had absolutely no clue what was going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. Hid in the restroom just to avoid being around a certain coworker.
Daily.
Not at my current job, but definitely at a former place of employment.
I try to spend as little time in the restroom as I can.
Yeah, we know that you have that issue there.
Home turf shitter.
Have you ever imagined?
What about you?
Hid in a bathroom to avoid somebody? No, because I'm pretty good at just ignoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've now in my former life, I would say that
We're closed.
no. In my former
Doors
life,
jammed. I don't know what's going on.
in my former life, if we were over at court and there was one that was just on you, like I would dip into the restroom a lot of times. Not even.
Hey, love to chat, but I got a shit.
Yeah, and then just basically like wait it out, a couple minutes and then come out. But that was just to quit dealing with them. Have you ever imagined a dramatic movie montage about your day-to-day work life? Like Teddy Hoops starring in Southridge High School.
No.
I think mine would be more of not a cinematic production, but more of like an episode of Jackass or Fail Army. You know that
Yeah.
show? Yeah.
Negative.
Me neither. Have you ever used a fake cough to cover up a fart in the silent office?
Blame it on the student.
Yeah. Damn it, Bobby, quit farting.
We let her rip, man. I'm not in that line.
That's that blue collar work.
Yeah.
No, I'm a disappear from the scene type of guy.
Me neither. Because I don't know. You don't know how it's going to be. If it's going to
Yeah.
be loud or not loud. Did you throw this awkward cough out there? That's never good. Final one. You ever pretended to be on an important call just to avoid small talk?
In the workplace?
Yeah.
I mean, no. We're not allowed to have cell phones. Right?
Yeah, no.
They can't have cell phones.
Oh yeah, I've had meetings I got to get to that didn't actually exist.
What about you?
Oh, yeah. All the time. I mean, because we have work cell phones too. And sometimes, like, if I'm walking through, like, I'll just be like, oh, shit. Like, or like a text. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah. And then back to like fake finger texting. All right. There we go. Those are your Merkley and Sons Choice Cut questions of the week, brought to you by our friends at Merkley and Sons, the official home of meat enthusiast. Smoke, don't be sad that it's over. Just be
Hard not
glad
to
we
be.
got one more trip around the table. Brought to you by, well, it's the last pass. Brought to you by Hopf Outdoor Power.
The Last Pass is proudly brought to you by our friends at Hopf Outdoor Power. Big Mace has a Cub Cadet. Esquire has a Kubota Zero Turn. And Smoke has a Kubota B-Series tractor. You could say we're big fans of what Hopf Outdoor Power has to offer. It's time to mow responsibly and upgrade your rig. Want to mow quick, save some time, get a Zero Turn. Need something a little more than a lawn tractor? Check out their Kubota compact tractors today. No time like the present for an upgrade.
All right, Teddy Hoops, any final thoughts here as we wrap up this Wednesday episode?
Just, first time in the Smokers Lounge, to be honest with you. And just appreciate you guys. Love what you do. Being here with the Dutchman and getting the insight.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, insight it's big
Hell
time.
yeah.
I appreciate you guys and love listening to you.
Oh, good. Big fella, we got.
Thanks for coming out, Teddy Hoops. Always a pleasure, man. Good friend. Can't wait to get out to H-Track, stretch the legs a little bit, get the sticks out of the bag, see what happens. Courage for Courtney. Peace, love, and positivity. Send that chick some good vibes. She's got one round of chemo down.
Started. I think she's got 2 down now.
Yeah, starting. Yeah, she's right in the thick of it. So going to need all the good vibes that she can get. Coming. Not only do we have the Dine and Dance on the 13th of July, but on July the 12th at the Huntingburg Grind Coffee Company, they're going to do a cheeseburger and hot dog, a little lunch outing up there. It's a $10 Goodwill donation. Come up, get you a dog or a Merkley. It's going to be a Merkley product.
I was going to say, okay.
It is. Come up and get you a cheeseburger or a hot dog, bag of chips. All those proceeds are going to go directly to that family and everything like that. So that's all I got, man. Thanks for coming out, Ted.
Smoke Dragon.
Hey, thanks for coming out to the lounge. Hope with all the busyness with the kids' sports and work and whatnot, you're staying brushed up. We got a title that we're gonna have to defend sometime this summer.
Fall.
So fall. Well, we've got all summer to prepare.
Yeah.
You can't start too early.
I mean, we won that thing. We weren't even firing. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of confidence.
We actually could have used my drive. Like, you could have put your driver
Here we
away.
go.
I mean, I was.
I
There
didn't
we
even
go.
play well.
Broken record.
Case
Oh,
Hear
my
about
God.
it every time we talk about it. Jesus
Whatever.
Christ.
Whatever.
he did play well.
Out of my mind. Where was that all year for league? Is the question.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
We can't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that either. Good vibes only. Hey, always fun to get together. Always good to bring our good buddy Teddy Hoops out. Just things going well. Just the rain this past week, and I'm sure
Lots
we'll
of
talk
rain.
about it on
Toad
Friday.
strangler.
But it's been a good little pause and reset. But always love it when we get together and wander. And to those of you out in wandering land, we appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Dutchman out.